Stages in this game get really weird once you start to pay attention to them. What's the purpose of these little alcoves in Venice Beach? What is this pipe connecting these two buildings in School 2? What is, all this? That's kind of the beauty of these games. The stages are, almost, always based on something in real life, but they have to make a bunch of tiny concessions to make them fun to skate around in. Let's take note of some of those and just enjoy the overall vibes of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 in our second look at the game. Welcome to Video Game World Tours. First up is an icon. If we're ranking all the stages across all the games in terms of how legendary they are, not many come close to Chopper Drop. Wait, School 2, that's School 2. I think it's kind of funny that this stage is called School 2. Like they didn't even try to come up with anything slightly different from the school stage in the first game. This is just School the sequel. And man, this really is the Empire Strikes Back of the School series. It doesn't get any better than this. In fact, let's just pretend that the series ends here. School 3? What's that? Right in the starting area of School 2 is an interesting detail to take note of. You have to wall ride to reach this roof. There's no way to get up here if you can't wall ride on a skateboard. No door leading into one of these buildings or anything. So why is there a window here? Obviously ignoring the fact that this is a video game and how it's really cool to break through a window, why did they install a window on this side of the building that nobody could normally reach? Look at it up there. It's so lonely. I feel bad for the little guy. I never really thought about it, but some parts of stages in these games just feel particularly empty. Like there's these rails to grind on. Got a nice little line right here. And then it ends with you facing a wall. It feels like there should be a ramp here or another grind that can point you in a better direction so you don't just slam into the wall. Just look at this space. It feels like there's something missing here. Or over here, this looks so empty. It feels too small to put anything meaningful in here, but big enough to where it feels like there should be something. It's in limbo almost. This area definitely feels like it could use some quarter pipes or something. I could almost imagine a fan edit of this level that makes much better use of this space. Though maybe that's the beauty of the official design of this level. The designer showed a lot of restraint in where they placed quarter pipes and rails. I'm reminded of the concept of signal versus noise when it comes to puzzle design. When you first look at a puzzle in a game, you notice a bunch of puzzle pieces. There's all these things you can interact with that just exist. The noise. It's up to you to try and figure out how to put them all together. You look for signals in the noise. You might go after what you think is the solution, but it was actually a dead end. So you have to mentally step back a bit and look for another solution. By sifting through the noise, you can eventually find the path that leads you to the end successfully. I kind of think of level design in Tony Hawk games like that. There are ramps and rails and kickers all over the place. It's the player's job to find the right ones to link together to form a cohesive line that you can skate and rack up a ton of points on. If there were ramps all over the place, it'd make it a lot harder to find those lines. I think the designers placed in just enough noise to make actually finding those meaningful lines satisfying. Too many objects in the world and it would have felt cluttered. This is nice. There's a secret area I want to show off. It's kinda difficult to reach. You have to have nice stats and a good amount of speed built up to not only be able to jump on this building, but to jump to the building after that. Only then can you fall down to this little enclosed area. Thankfully, the level designers thought to include doors in the buildings here, so it's not completely inaccessible to non-skaters in-world. Though I do have to wonder why this path eventually leads you to a dead end. This area definitely sucks to skate in, so there's no reason to come over here if you just want points. But if you can appreciate a good vibe, then you might like it. This is today's Pretzel Certified VGWT spot. We do have one more place to visit though. And it's not really difficult to reach, per se, just kinda weird. See these doors? Do they look special to you? Do these look like something you could maybe go through if you grinded a certain rail at a very specific time after starting the stage? Well, you can. They do actually open— oh, hold on, wrong doors. These are the actual doors you can open. To open them, you have to ride down this way and make it to this rail before the first bell goes off. You want to hit the roll call open sesame rail just as the bell rings. If you beeline it here right after starting a new session, you should make it just in time. What a bizarre way to reveal a secret. Inside is nothing special, just a pool and a gym. I did have a point with my little fake out earlier. Grinding that rail and opening these doors makes you realize anything is possible. Any set of unassuming doors could potentially have a little skate park behind them. As a kid, this genuinely blew my mind. It's such a great thing to hide as a level designer, because it makes these levels feel so much bigger than they actually are. Just hiding one tiny secret like this here and there can create a magical aura around a game. I love it. Skate Street is up next. You know, they definitely have the skate part down, but street? This is more like a warehouse to me. And no, the street markings on the ground don't count. I'm not calling this a street, so I'm just calling this stage skate going forward. Stages like this are my favorite to skate in, but there's not really a whole lot to talk about during a video game world tour episode. It's not like this was a normal place that was converted into a skate park. A school, a mall, some actual streets. This just is a skate park. There's not many weird observations to be had. I guess this is the complete opposite of school too in a way. There's so much noise I kinda don't know where to go. I just bounce around all over the place like a molecule or some shit. Pretty sure molecules do that. Or am I thinking of atoms? I don't know science, why do they even reference this? There are a few cool spots though. Like this little alcove. First of all, it has this unique ground texture. This looks more like a carpet in Animal Crossing than flooring in a skate park, but whatever. Second, it has all these little tables and chairs. You can bump into them and have a grand old time. Though once you do knock them all over, they disappear and it's just empty. Barren. A disquieting space hidden in the corner of this lovely skate park. Wish I could go behind the counter and see what's going on. There's probably something super cool back there. The unique thing about this stage is its locked off areas. Much like School 2, it has some spaces that can only be unlocked by grinding certain rails. Grinding this rail unlocks the first area. This spot is alright. It's got a few ramps to go back and forth on. I really like the blue of the sky, the green of the trees, and the gray of all this concrete. It's a very pleasing color palette. By grinding this rail, though, we'll unlock my favorite of the two locked-off areas. It's not a whole lot different over here, but it tickles my fancy just a tiny bit more than the space we just looked at. This van is cool. You can jump over it. Awesome. There's a loading dock here, but I feel like this wouldn't work for a normal truck. Like, shouldn't the ground be flat so the back of the truck could line up with the door there? Maybe it was at some point, and the people who own skate parks like this make more adjustments to their property than I thought. And this little corner over here, come on, this is a beauty. I'm stealing the award from that spot in School 2. This is the pretzel certified VGWT spot of the video. Venice Beach is our next stop. Man, these are good vibes. I'm a sucker for a blue sky in a level. And at a beach no less. Can't go wrong with this. Say, where's the entrance to this place? I skated all around this main environment, but the only way out I could find is right here. Though this feels more like an entrance to the beach rather than being an entrance to this space. But maybe my perception of the level is shaped by the fact that you start over here. Maybe if the player spawned in here when the level started, this would feel more like an entrance. Interesting how the placement of the player's spawn can shape how they perceive the level. I like this little grass patch in front of this building. Well, I say building, I don't know that you can go in this structure. I don't see a door anywhere. Maybe this is just a fat slab of concrete. That'd go kinda hard, TBH. Man, I wish I could explore the beach over there. Out-of-bounds areas are always so tantalizing. Apparently, skateboards can't handle sand, which, fair enough, I guess. Over here is a section of the level that takes up a lot of space, but there isn't a lot to really skate on. It's just kinda there. It does have some weird details, though. Like, what is this thing? It's volcano-esque. I'm assuming this is based on some real-life object in a skate park somewhere. This is just too bizarre for a level designer to come up with in their own brain. Or these. At first glance, I'd just assume these were tables. There's a lot of them around. I could imagine this being a hangout spot for non-skaters before the skaters swarmed in and took over. But where are the chairs? You can't really sit down at these without a chair. It's not like this thing going around the raised part is a bench. It's completely flat under the table part. Here's a 3D model I threw together real quick of my interpretation of this. Do you see the vision? I don't get it. 3D artists back in the day were on some wild shit. I want what they were having. Onto the roof and behind this building lies a somewhat secret spot. I say somewhat because a goal does bring you back here, but it's not the easiest thing in the world to reach. It's at least a semi-secret, I'll give it that. I don't really have anything to say about it. I just wanted to show it off. If you ride into the sand, it sends you back to the main part of the map, so it feels kinda special back here. That's all. Goodbye, Venice Beach. Bye, see ya. Bye. Our next stage... Can I even call this a stage? Is Chopper Drop even worth the designation of stage? I guess it's in the level list. Look, I'll meet you halfway and call this half of a stage. A sta, if you will. Well, there's not much to explore here. It's kinda funny this is the rewards you get for getting gold medals on all of the characters in the game. Just a half pipe and a kicker to a platform. Is there anything to explore? Anything at all? There's a shark over there. That's something. Oh, you can hold back whenever you spawn in the helicopter and you won't fall down. That's fun. Look, there's the pilot seats. My god, they're big. I didn't know giants flew helicopters in this world. And here we are, the final stage of the game. And this one is a doozy to unlock. You have to 100% complete the career of every single skater in the game. Not super challenging, but very time consuming. And this is a completion reward. Screw Chopper Drop, I got skate heaven. You spawn in and, guess we're in space. Sure, why not? Why not get truly wacky with a stage as hard to unlock as this? I kinda regret using the word bizarre to describe things earlier in the video, because it dampens the impact of the word. This is bizarre. All throughout THPS 1 and most of 2 here, you've been exploring relatively grounded locations. I guess the first game did get a little weird letting you explore Area 51, but that's still a place on Earth. We're not on Earth anymore, we're people of the stars. Over here is a house, a half pipe, got a playground over here, some trees and grass, why not? Oh, and of course, exploding space volcano. Can't forget that. This really is just a mishmash of random things that are somewhat skatable. I dig it. But the one spot I want to focus on is definitely a secret spot. You're not getting to this place easily. The trick? You have to enter the volcano while it's erupting. So a difficult jump that has to be timed at just the right moment? Yeah, no thanks. I have PTSD from trying to do this in the remake. I'll just... There we go. I hope you'll forgive me. I'll do a lot for this channel, but I won't torture myself. Not for this game at least. This is a super exclusive area. Perhaps the most exclusive of the series so far. The first thing to catch your eye when you spawn in is this ominous slab. The Neversoft name and logo are carved into it. It's almost like they're the gods of this world, and this is an altar to their divinity. Over here is the main attraction, a plain little skate ramp. Nothing bombastic about it or anything, it's just a chill place to rack up some points. And considering where we are, it's not a bad place to do it. It's peaceful here. I mentioned session spots in my second tour of the first game, and this is a really nice one. You've earned the right to go back and forth in the secluded halfpipe. This is a pro skater spot. And with that, we're not just done with THPS2, but the PS1 entries as a whole. I grew up with this series on the GameCube, so I'm itching to finally get back to that era. But honestly, it was interesting to take a look at these levels that had so many remakes in future games, to really get to see where this massive franchise started and take in what people fell in love with all those years ago. Goodbye, Low Poly Tony, you'll be missed. Thanks for watching.